Big vibes, stable sailors. The boy Black Finesse. We're here for another video with watchmojo. Top 20 best first-person shooters. I'm stumbling on my words. My fault. Top 20 best first-person shooters. I guess this is just an opinionated thing, but I'm gonna say if it's going to be higher on the list or lower because 20 FPS games. I would hope that they make it to where obviously Call of Duty is top 5. But it depends on which game we're talking. So this is Left 4 Dead. Was that how they started off?
Welcome to watchmojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 greatest first-person shooter video games ever made.
Okay, this is all time. BioShock. This came out in 07. The graphics look amazing.
Number 20, Crisis.
Crisis in 07.
I still can't reach JSOC on the secure channel. Must be another jammer. We need to find it and take it out.
In the grand odyssey of video game companies striving to make games look more realistic, Crisis was unlike anything we had ever seen.
In 07, the graphics look amazing.
Detail and texture
this probably took a while to make, though.
Moved and shimmered in the light. Crisis was a game that really pushed the limits of the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Gameplay-wise, it was really fun running around and landing.
The 360 was out in 07.
FPS games at the time.
We're old.
The only reason it gets placed this low on the list is how games have further evolved in visuals, making Crisis look a little less impressive by today's standards. Even the remasters couldn't recapture that magic.
Hey, the graphics are going crazy.
Number 19,
Singularity. Oh,
my leg is hurt. I can't walk. Once upon a time, Activision did allow their studios to work on other games that weren't Call of Duty. Even FPS games.
Oh, so this is Activision?
Innovative mechanics. Before time control powers became about as common as crafting mechanics,
dang, the recoil is crazy.
An FPS survival horror where you can use time to manipulate the environment. While it wasn't as flexible as most games can make time control work today, Singularity was among the first to explore this gameplay concept and do it rather well. As a bonus, the story was well written, the gunplay felt great, and the multiplayer component was pretty fun, which is why it was so upsetting to know that nobody bought the game back in 2010.
I'm about to say, it don't look like anyone ever played it. I would have knew about this game.
Happy. Spartan Team Titan 1 actual, you are now entering Russian airspace.
I know that voice though.
Number 18, Borderlands 2.
I heard of Borderlands. I just never played it. I heard it was pretty nice. It's like a cartoon, realistic version.
About Borderlands 2 that really have not
look like the
that well. Particularly its sense of
ray gun.
But aside from the outdated references and memes, Borderlands 2 truly is a compelling FPS RPG.
It's a nice set of graphics for cartoons.
That made the game memorable. It was the tragedy around Handsome Jack, the epic battles against those rich jerks at Hyperion, the friends we made and lost along the way, and of course, all of the kick-ass guns you can find from completing missions and challenges. Let's not forget the robust selection of character classes that came with 3 skill trees each, all of which would lead to vastly different play styles.
It's not even dying. This looks like
Gearbox simply
the realism sucks, but
meeting that same level of quality, which admittedly is kind of tough to meet.
Yikes.
Number 7, Apex Legends.
I think Apex Legends sucks. You know, let me not say that. It came out in 2019, but I personally don't like Apex Legends because it reminds me of Halo. Because of the amount of ammo you're wasting to kill somebody. But then again, obviously using this about headshots and shit like that. But the fact that it got so much shield, I just didn't like it. I guess I'm more of a realism kind of guy, and Apex Legends is too much going on.
By the time Apex Legends stormed into the Battle Royale scene, fatigue had already begun to set in for the audience. I mean, we had Fortnite and PUBG already. What exactly does this new Battle Royale have to bring to the table? Well, a hell of a lot actually. Apex Legends brought a more frenetic pace to the scene by giving the player a ton of freedom in movement with sliding, wall running, and zip
How are you still alive?
What's more is that every location on the map was built as if it were a standard deathmatch map from the early 2000s, and they all work really well. Just a few games will show anyone why folks are deeply enamored with Apex Legends.
Why is it taking so long for them to die? Look at this! I did not see one kill.
Number 16, Super Hot.
Super Hot. I never heard of this. That's FPS.
Super Hot. A lot of indie shooters tend to get swept under the bus, but
Oh,
this
this is a
VR
virtual
title was
reality?
something every FPS fan needed to play. The shtick in Superhot is that time only moves when you move. The second you stop making significant movement, the game comes to a crawl, giving you some time to maybe assess your situation and adapt. Here's the thing though, it's not as easy as it looks. You'll need to prioritize targets more efficiently as later levels begin throwing in more enemies from all directions. Yeah, Superhot may be one of the toughest VR games out there, but it's also one of the best FPS games ever made because of it.
I don't know about that. It's just like a bunch of white. Like, that would hurt my eyes. Mac 11.
Number 15.
Fear.
Don't
Okay, I
worry.
heard that.
You'll be fine.
Oh, 5. Damn.
At the time Fear launched, there wasn't a whole lot of genre blending going around. But when you hear about a new horror game with FPS mechanics, who wouldn't want to check that out? The thing about Fear is that it's a constant mind game. As you venture forth, you'll have a harder and harder time discerning hallucinations from reality, making it a lot harder to conserve ammunition. It's a game that doesn't test your reflexes in the way that most games do, but rather your ability to control them. So much in Fear's design really shouldn't have worked here, and yet it did so beautifully.
She cannot see in your mind, but perhaps you
I don't know. I don't know about this one. This one probably, this one won't be.
waking from one nightmare.
Well, it's 20, but still, like,
Deep in another.
it should be lower. This don't even look
14,
like Titanfall 2.
Titanfall
I
2.
heard of this
I can
game.
throw you across
Never
the
played
map.
it, but
That's insane.
I'm incapable of insanity, pilot.
I hope so.
Titanfall was already excellent when it came
I've
to
seen
the
people play
multiplayer
this,
side
though.
of
I've
things
seen some
with its
gameplays.
unique
It look
mix to
pretty
pilot
cool,
and
but not something I would
fast-paced
play.
gameplay. The thing that made Titanfall 2 shine the brightest was the sweet inclusion of an immersive campaign. And what a campaign it was. Between
A
the
campaign
immersive
does
environments
make
and
a
the
game
compelling
good, I'm gonna
story
be
of
honest.
Jack Cooper and BT, Titanfall 2 was an explosive
Okay.
amount of fun, which
This is
makes
like
it
Black Ops
frustrating
4.
in how EA almost killed the game.
okay,
by
so it's
launching
realistic.
next
It
to
ain't
Call
like
of Duty
Apex
and
where
our
you gotta
next
spend
entry. Thankfully,
most
the
of
game
your
has been
ammo
seeing
to
a
kill
much
somebody.
livelier player base as more and more folks have discovered this title through Apex Legends, as well as sales where the game's been deeply discounted several times. Number 13.
Battlefield.
1.
Yeah, I love Battlefield. Battlefield's dope. Didn't they do a remake of
On
this?
paper, an FPS centered entirely around World War I sounds like the antithesis of what an FPS should be. Not only did DICE find a way to make it work for the multiplayer side
Battlefield's
of
a
Battlefield 1,
dope game,
it came
dog.
up with an ingenious
I just
way
love
to
how they made a
properly
reference to
convey
this.
the gravity of this point in history. Rather than focus on one individual or one country, Battlefield 1 allows you to experience World War I from the perspective of several different countries. It was a tactful approach to a topic that isn't explored often enough in military shooter games.
Hey, you're missing, bro. You're missing. You're missing. Sheesh. It was a little hard when I first played it
Number
because
12.
the mechanics are a little
Left
slow.
4 Dead 2.
Left 4 Dead 2. 09.
We had a really hard time deciding between this and the original Left 4 Dead. After all, both fun in their
I
own
mean, it is
maddening
basically a
ways with
zombies
how many
game,
zombies
so.
they throw at you. In the end, Left 4 Dead 2 took the spot for two major reasons: the maps and the AI director. Not only does each map boast fun set pieces for fights, the AI director
This is
also
like
helps make
literally
every playthrough
zombies,
feel
though.
new
Like,
by increasing
I don't want to
difficulty
be in
and
the
even
M1
changing
game
some
and the only
aspects
option
of
they
the
have
layout.
is zombies.
It's a true
Probably not
technical
something I would play all the
achievement,
time.
and in an age where developers and publishers seem to never want their games to end, it's kind of shocking how no one has tried replicating Valve's approach to level design here.
That's a Scar H.
Anyone needs a pill?
Number 11.
Team Fortress 2. I heard of this. Oh, this is what the reference memes are from.
Character classes were nothing new to the world of FPS games.
Oh.
However, the most diverse it ever got was
This
this
is
guy
a
carries
PC
pistol and
game
grenades,
now.
while this guy carries a rocket launcher and a sniper rifle. What Team Fortress 2 excelled in was taking those classes we were familiar with and giving them unique abilities
die?
that could
You
change
didn't shoot
the
him.
tides of battle. No longer was it about which weapon you preferred more. Now it was about which class was going to give
Oh,
you
healing,
the edge,
okay.
whether you were defending a point or pushing a payload. That level of diversity in gameplay, along
Damn,
with
like,
the
why is there
endless
so much of
ocean
you
of
dying?
cosmetic
Where's
items
where the
is why
kills?
Team Fortress 2 still remains relevant today, despite
Yeah,
being
there's a
more
lot of memes
efficient
about this.
than most online games. It's purely timeless. Number 10, Metroid Prime.
Metroid Prime. I've never heard of this. This is an 02. I was extremely young. Oh, so that's who it's from. Okay, so it's, obviously we've seen this on
Who would have guessed
Mario,
this would turn out well? Released
Smash
for
Brothers.
Nintendo GameCube in 2002, newcomer developer Retro Studios went about the unenviable task of conveying the Metroid franchise's take on atmospheric action platforming in a first-person perspective. Yet, to this day, the grim yet visually varied locales of Talon 4 remain ingrained in gamers' memories, with combat and exploration carefully balanced. Prime found a way to maintain an often haunting mood and engage in thoughtful world building while still remaining true to the series' fundamental
Is this
elements.
mainly a story
Even
mode?
now, it's
I
hard
mean, yeah,
not
it
to
is
admire
02.
the
They didn't have it
craftsmanship
online back
here.
then. Graphics aren't too bad.
Number 9, Unreal Tournament.
In '99, the graphics was like this. Yeah, I never heard of it.
Though the arena shooter has basically gone the way of the dodo these days, Unreal Tournament had basically perfected the formula over 15 years
This is
ago.
a top 10?
Taking the famous Unreal Engine and its amazing graphics even further, it offered
Yeah, I mean, it was
game
99,
options
so
that
I can
offered
see
the
why.
players more variety than usual. Outsmarting bot AI that could hold their own against seasoned human players, and brilliant weapon and level design.
Also,
the
the
game was
difficulty on
remarkable
this.
for being a polished final product offering smooth gameplay, almost flawless performance and functionality, and most importantly, offered an incredibly exciting and fun experience. With multiple sequels and community mods following it, it's no surprise that Unreal Tournament is still going strong after all this time.
Interesting.
Number 8,
Bioshock. Oh, so this is number 8. 07? Yeah, they didn't do too bad in 07. The graphics look great. It looked like modern. I mean, it looks like World War II guns.
If there's an art to the construction of an FPS, then this is quite the masterclass. BioShock took the gaming world by storm, enchanting players with its Art Deco design sensibilities and the tragic beauty of its underwater setting. Yet, beyond the blend of grotesque imagery and classical influences, the game proved exciting
Please get
in
the
its
kill.
gameplay, which emphasized using superpower-esque abilities called plasmids in tandem with normal weapons. From the visceral combat to the plentiful modification options, from the top-notch vocal
I just want to see who the
performances
top
to
5 are, to
intriguing
be honest.
themes at play. This is an experience worth remembering. Number 7.
Call of Duty
4 Modern
Warfare. Number 7. Really? I knew Call of Duty was going to be at least top 10. Depending on which one it was.
The first Call of Duty may have helped to define first-person shooting in the new millennium, but this modern military shooter was the fireworks show that changed everything. Modern Warfare upended the series' norms at the time with its shift to present day, focusing on large-scale political conflict very much ripped from the headlines. Its truly intense action set pieces and effortlessly shocking story turns made for an outstanding campaign, remaining a source of many people's favorite gaming moments. On top of that, Call of Duty 4 propelled online console playing securely into the mainstream.
Graphics weren't that bad, were they?
That PC games no longer had a monopoly on online gaming. Number 6, Quake 2.
Quake 2, a 97 game.
Quake was a good
aiming
first
sucks,
foray into
dude.
3D, but it was Quake 2 that ended up making its mark in the gaming world. For starters, Quake 2 simply looked better, particularly in terms of color, lighting, and architecture. Ditching the dark castle theme for a sci-fi military setting on another planet, the game also
why is there
expanded
so
the
much dying,
single-player
bro? Are
experience
y'all
with a
trying?
more story-driven focus with multiple objectives per level.
Y'all
Something
jokers
used
cannot
in
shoot.
many shooters to this day. With a rebalancing of weapons,
Who the hell are you
well-designed
looking
maps,
at?
and
Are
a
you
vast mod
recording
community,
while playing or
multiplayer
something?
Matches were never more intense. 20 years later, and the fragging is still
This is
going strong.
97 though. Still. The sensitivity fast as shit though, I ain't gonna lie.
Number 5, GoldenEye 007.
GoldenEye 007 and 97 is a top 5 game.
Anyone who grew up around video games in the late 90s will tell you that GoldenEye 007 is probably their favorite game of all time. Rare made history by trailblazing the first console first-person shooter that gave PC shooters a run for their money.
Like
the realistic and atmospheric single-player experience was without equal. Stealth was a big part of the game as well, a first for an FPS of any sort. People will no doubt have fond memories of the endlessly fun and intense split-screen multiplayer matches as well. GoldenEye 007 revolutionized the genre.
Are they controlling? Are they controlling the person?
One of the greatest games of all time. Number 4, Halo 2.
Halo, of course. Everyone loves them from Halo. I just never played it because, like I said, Apex reminds me of Halo. All that shield and shit.
Halo Combat Evolved was a great title. Yet, it's difficult to argue its sheer quality and ubiquity could compare to its first sequel. Narratively, Halo 2 picks up not long after the original game, but chooses to expand the series' mythos by offering 2 parallel storylines to follow, switching between the Master Chief and the newly introduced Arbiter, thereby providing 2 different perspectives on events, made for an intriguing and surprisingly deep story. Beyond that, Halo 2 made worthwhile tweaks to its predecessor's already
this is not something I could have played, bro.
Adding in features such as dual wielding and the ability to board vehicles in motion. That the game was also built for intuitive online matchmaking.
I like the gameplay. It's not something I would play.
Or even Microsoft be without this flagship titan.
Listen, Tinkerbell, don't make me.
Then where? Where would someone go to activate the other rings?
Why the Ark, of course.
Number 3, Counter-Strike Global Offensive.
Counter-Strike.
Sometimes,
yeah, I heard Counter-Strike was pretty nice, but that's mainly for PC.
Global Offensive opted to refine the Counter-Strike.
I never played it, but I do like the gameplay.
Shooting and emphasis on quick play. It presents maps.
They suck at aiming though. They really use crosshairs.
New modes such as arms race.
Oh, okay, never mind. They do aim, but they have sights.
Like the firebomb. However, the main priority of Global Offensive is polishing the formula. The gameplay is tighter,
not missing his shots. Okay.
Visual design and swift reflexes and knowledge of one's weapons remain key. Plus, there's a certain amount of fun to be had messing around with cosmetic items and additional content courtesy of the Steam Workshop.
All right, who are top 3? Let's see what the top 3 is.
Number 2, Doom.
Oh shit, that was number 3. Doom being number 2? This is a 93?
It's hard to find any video game that has had more of an impact on popular culture than Doom. The significance of Doom, both as a video game and first-person.
If I could turn back time, if I could find a way, I'd have never.
The question is, what's the definition of the greatest FPS games ever played?
The grandfather of the FPS genre.
Are they going by like how ahead of its time it was?
Until this very day. For much of the 90s, the term Doom clone would be used until the term first-person shooter became solidified, which goes to show how Doom overshadowed everyone else in the market. From movies to comic books and to real-world controversy, Doom's impact was felt beyond the world of video games, and shooters wouldn't be the same without it.
They barely even aim. Please tell me number 1 is something of Call of Duty. Because what are these greatest first-person shooter games of all time?
Make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1,
Half-Life 2.
Hey, Dr. Freeman.
What is the definition of this?
Got this airboat all gassed up and ready to go.
Turns out the right man in the wrong place really does make all the difference in the world. Released in 2004, Half-Life 2 carries forth its predecessor's immersion-first approach to gameplay and expands upon it in astounding ways. Front and center were the physics. Whether using the iconic gravity gun or not, the physics on display in Half-Life 2 allowed for puzzles that made real-world sense and a world that felt reactive and alive like nothing players had ever seen. But the brilliance of Half-Life 2 was more than just fancy
he's the face of Skibidi Toilet?
Told you its story without giant swaths of exposition and let you behave like a real person.
He's the face of Skibidi Toilet.
Logic. It was smart, it treated its players like they were smart too, and it's our choice for the best FPS of all time.
Okay, I see why.
So sirens are for you, huh? Good thing you found
These are the faces of Skibidi Toilet.
This is the Freeman. The combined reckoning has come.
Which one of these?
Small world. Shout out to Mojo. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe down below. It's your boy Black Finesse. We are out.